Hello and welcome to today's historic Best of 3 deck tech and gameplay video on Black-White Angels, or Angel Tribal, really. Angel Tribal is like any other tribal deck. It takes existing angels and other angel payoffs like your Bishop of Wings or your Giada Font of Hope, and uses them in concert with the creature type in question to sort of push damage and kill our opponent the old-fashioned way. Now, other than Lyra, and really Etchings of the Chosen being a catch-all Lord effect, Angels doesn't have traditional Lord effects. Angel effects and synergies operate more on the axis of your Righteous Valkyrie that gain you life, and if your life's so big, your board gets bigger, or your Firja's Retribution that will give your angels other effects. So do keep in mind that an Angels deck doesn't play like something like a what's the word? A Merfolk deck or something like that. That just plays lots of lords and is very low to the ground. Angels is more of a mid-rangey, or more mid-rangey of a tribal deck. And besides all of our angel bits, we just have a couple of sort of generic quality of life cards. Thoughtseize and absences and such allow us to kill our opponents, and Rampage of the Valkyries, as well as Etchings of the Chosen, do give us some sort of protection for our various angels, and a couple copies of Phyrexian Arena. It's a super useful card draw engine in this deck, since, as we talked about, things like Righteous Valkyries and Bishop of Wings gain you a lot of life, so Arena is much easier of an include. And land-based, relatively simple. We are running snow basics and some face savings because it's also more angels. And I also have some Temple of Silences. Since this deck is slower, we don't mind actually having a land like this come into play untapped. Sideboard, relatively self-explanatory. Silver Bullet cards. Rest in Peace against graveyards. D-Spark against some big scary stuff. Crippling Fear and Kaya's Wrath are our sweepers. Vanishing Verse, Noxious Grasp, and Devout Decree are all very useful single target removal that are usually targeted at creatures, or in the case of these, maybe the occasional Planeswalker also. And that is Black-White Angel Tribal. I've had a huge amount of success with this deck. So before anything else, if you were looking for a fun tribal deck that can get you to Diamond at least, and probably Mythic, like it did for me, this is a great list. Now, don't forget to like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you like my content, and now we will go in to game number 1. In game number 1 with our little Angel Tribal list. Again, we go first because we have a brain. It's a little land heavy, but it's not that bad. Have things to do and lands to play it with, so we'll just go ahead and take this little win. And the Temple of Silence does allow us to curate our draw. Yeah, sure, we'll keep a Thoughtseize, since we don't know what our opponent's running. We'll probably just play another Temple and a Thoughtseize. If they don't Thoughtseize us. Hey, that doesn't hit shit. Booyah! Although a Duress doesn't really tell me much. But the plan remains the same. Temple, see what we're going to draw. Don't need more lands. And Thoughtseize. See what we're going up against. Some mono black shenanigans. Okay, a couple of go blanks is not great. I guess we'll get rid of one. It's not fantastic. But in this instance, we just kind of have to take what we're given. If our opponent does go blank us, what do we get rid of? Shrine, and I guess a Lyra. Well, if I would have known I would have drawn a land, I probably would have just kept that. We'll go ahead and play the Pathway, however, since that hides more information. And if our opponent decides... I thought they had 2 go blank. Oh no, we got rid of 1 go blank, right. Draugr Necromancer. I've never seen this card played in person. Let's see. Non-token. Opponent controls dies. Get magic counter. And you can cast cards with ice counters with mana. Cool. Think we'll give our Seraph Scales Vigilance. Just kind of hit our opponent in the dome. If they attack with a Necromancer, we can always channel away the Seed of the Empire. Happy to take whatever we can get. Either Hailstorm Valkyrie needs 2 snowman at the top. I think we're gonna go ahead and just do the same thing of Vigilance our Seraph here and attack. We'll hold the Fateful Absence for if we're really feeling particularly scared. Since our opponent is low on cards and doesn't appear to have much in the way of card draw. We're going to try and save this until it basically secures lethal for us. We'll go ahead and keep the information here. Actually think we'll get rid of it now. Since we are threatening lethal, so they have to have some answer to our board. They could draw some sort of removal spell, it has to be said. And that's a pretty good solid win. Some mono black snow, I guess, is the way to word this. Since they appear to be mono black, Devout Decrees and Vanishing Verses will go in. Maybe a couple of Thought Seizes down since we know what they're running. Then maybe get rid of 1 Etching and 1 Rampage of the Valkyries. They appear to be somewhat light on removal, though that might just be more down to the fact they just didn't draw their removal. But the snow removal is, I think, Blood on the Snow, and if I don't remember if Blood on the Snow exiles or actually destroys, so we're just gonna play it on the safe side. 3 lands, 4 spells. Normally the temples would be bad, but in this deck, temples are actually kind of useful for allowing us to, again, sort of curate our draws. They could duress us. I mean, you could take the Mortify or the Retribution. Our hand isn't totally dependent on either of those to be functional. But to be fair, the Retribution is probably the better one in a vacuum. We'll go ahead and keep our sideboard card. See what we draw. Next turn we can just play Bishop of Wings. First, Typhoid Rats? Okay, we're going against a budget opponent, which is fine. Nothing wrong with them. Of course, we don't block the rat, because again, we have a brain. Davriel's a little frustrating. I guess the temple can go. Okay, that's a little weird. I think we'll just Devout Decree the Davriel, since our hand is kind of filled with important cards here. We're gonna look for an untapped land. If nothing else, if we don't draw something we can play, we can always mortify through a blocker if we need to. Swamp from our opponent, followed by a Valkyrie. We did hit that land, which is very good. We would love to again just hit running lands, but that might not be practical. One of the perks of all of the life gain that is sort of endemic to, or characteristic of, what's the word? Of, angels is that you can sort of just kind of let attacks through that you might not have wanted to beforehand, so there is that. And then I'll try and mortify it. Okay, so basically trade creatures here. It's not fantastic, but we'll take what we can get. Put it down to 2 cards. We'll go ahead and play Lyra. Luckily, first strike will allow us to block their rat if they decide to get cute. If we want to, though it's probably smarter to just not touch it at all. Did you lose that absence? That would have been nice, it has to be said. We'll take a Valkyrie. It's pretty good. This will allow us a nice meaty board. We can send the Spirit Token to deal with Davriel, and Lyra to go to the face. I believe we've turned the corner.
Our contract is voided.
Of course, okay, another one. I mean, to be fair, you might as well play it. It's the only thing you have to play. We are threatening lethal, so unless they have some sort of spell, we do actually take away a win. I would normally feel a little bit bad about beating up on a budget list, but to be fair, their budget list did get them to Diamond, so they have to have an above 50% win rate, much like our deck does. Anywho, we'll go on to our next game. And game number 2, with our little Angel Tribal deck. Again, we play first because we have a brain. 3 lands, 4 spells. Honestly, you can't ask for much more. We'll go ahead and play the Seat of the Empire here. Try and save our pathways to give us whatever mana we need in any particular point in time. They have their Kappa Cannoneer sleeves. Magic Blastoise. See what our opponent has, or if they're here. A swamp, but nothing else. I don't think they're going to play anything that scary on turn 2 as a creature, so we'll just go ahead and Godless Shrine tapped. Next turn, probably play a swamp and just start playing some Valkyries out. Opponent is playing Rakdos something. But he didn't have, or they, sorry, let's not be rude and assume, they didn't get any sort of priority, so they didn't have a way to respond to it. Now, let's see what our opponent does. A swamp and a Dragon Skull Summit, so yeah, Rakdos something. Another land from our opponent. I would be very surprised if in Rakdos Color's 3 mana this Valkyrie lives for more than a turn. I mean, we'll take it if we can get it. We're not going to look a gift horse in the mouth completely. We know our opponent is here. I would actually, while our opponent is away, because I understand life happens, if anybody from Wizards by some miracle happens to see this, if we could get like a $5 or $10 pack of emotes that says, you know, run it like a bio break emote and a oh crap something's at the door, oh no IRL emergency emote, that would be great. I think those are silly that they don't exist, so you can at least have some communication with your opponent. I was right in that the Valkyrie doesn't live, but we'll just try again. If our opponent is running a lot of removal, or if you at home, your opponent is running a lot of removal, after a certain point, you kind of just have to make your opponent use what they have. It's admittedly not the most glamorous, but they're going to use it anyway, so you just have to make them run out of it and have a thing stick. This Pestilent Spirit will almost certainly mess us up, so we'll go ahead and Arena first. We'll go ahead and give them the absence since they already have an abundance of cards. Arena will hopefully give us the ability to pull ahead in card advantage. As I would doubt, or it doesn't seem at least, like our opponent has much in the way of card draw, or card advantage, or whatever term you want to use. Opponent is thinking away. If nothing else, they can always crack blue. On Nixilis.
I'm not afraid.
Go ahead and take it. That's cool. not bad. They're gonna uptick and take that away, so we'll play the bishop, gain some life, go ahead and trade into the Obnixless, as it can become a bit of a problem. Our opponent will likely uptick again and make us discard, at which point we'll throw away the Etching of the Chosen. Yeah, that was kind of what I imagined. Now, Obnixless
Your punishment
is actually, in my own anecdotal experience, at least kind of rare. Okay, that's annoying that we're going to lose that, because there's no way he doesn't kill the Valkyrie. That is, yeah, I was about to say. Oh yes, my original point. Obnixless is pretty rare in my own anecdotal opinion, or evidence, sorry. But this appears to just be some sort of Rakdos mid-rangey thing, which is fine. It's not, like, the most interesting thing in the world, but it'll do. I guess we get rid of a Chandra and work the Obnixless down a little bit. Now, we are thinking ahead to our sideboarding plan. We'll bring in the Devout Decrees, as that hits both the colors of their deck. That's not great, as we said. We did also have a, like, monumentally slow opener. Actually, we'll get rid of the Mortify. They don't appear to be running a whole lot of creatures, weirdly. We're on a bit of a clock, it has to be said. But that's not the worst. Luckily, with, again, all of our life gain that we have available to us, we can pretty reliably deal with this. We need to get rid of the Obnixless. If we don't, we, like, hard lose. Almost certainly.
What? That's it?
They, well, maybe not almost certainly. There's a good chance that they're going to downtick and kill the Valkyrie, which would suck. It has to be said. But them doing that means that the Chandra, in theory anyway, is pretty open to being killed. Again, it's not great, but it needs to die. See what our opponent does. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted that card. So maybe we also bring in some Rest in Peace now that they're clearly running Throxa. Probably don't attack. Why would you attack there? Why? I mean, I guess you can make me sack a creature? Maybe that's the reason why. I maintain that that's... I don't think that's a great play there. I mean, whatever, I guess. It's their choice. Again, thank God for all of our little bits of life gain, so we can push through this genre emblem. If they attack with the Rankle, I believe we just let it through. I know that's... Oh, then we were... Okay, we were Dungeon Rings pretty much regardless. They might sweep this board. If I had to take a guess. They could uptick it again, it has to be said. To be fair, it's not even the worst idea on the planet. Yeah, I was about to say they might just do that.
Is it just me, or is it getting a little warm in here?
If they say if they attack, but I don't think they let that attack go through. To be fair, nor should they. May it also be noted. Scratch my eye. A little too many land drops, which is great. Ah, pardon me 1 second. Sorry about that, I had the sniffles, as you could tell for a second there. Play the Retribution. We're in a bad spot, it has to be said. I don't know how well we come back from this. All of you need to go into that. I probably could have attacked with the bishop, now that I think about it. It was actually a really, really big goof. Oh man, that's not that great.
Playing with fire here.
Give me some tokens. I need to be very... well, it kind of won't matter though, will it? Let's see what our opponent does, actually. We'll see if it ends up mattering if I try and be cute about this Retribution trigger. And there's another one. This is not great. Does have to be said. Do lose the Bishop of Wings. Yeah, because that card makes sense. Less than this creature, so that doesn't even really do anything. So no point in wasting that. Good. One lands. That's very helpful. You need to try and kill that thing this turn. Might seem like overkill, but Chandra has to die this turn, otherwise I don't think... I mean, we're already like in a pretty sketchy spot, it has to be said. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's good. Chandra dies. They had 2 in their bin, I believe. Alright. Oh, for God's sake. They might actually sweep this one. Yeah. Arguably, as you should. Okay, hang on. That actually doesn't matter. Double strike won't matter in this case. Thank God for all of our life gain, because the only thing that's making this plausible. Yes, yes, all the upkeep triggers. Okay, so we have to do this. We have to do this. So everything beyond that is extra. So we could do Bishop of Wings, then a Valkyrie. Send the Haven into the Chandra, so they probably have 4 Chandras at this point. So yeah, this appears to be some just Rakdos-y mid-range or control. Not admittedly the most interesting thing in the world. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a long game. I do apologize. I try to keep these videos somewhat short. I mean, okay, that's a thing you can do. The land's not the most helpful. They have no cards in hand, so is that. Can we turn on both Faithless Havens? No, we can't. That's real cool. I know that the Croxa will eat our Thoughtseize, so we don't even get to have access to it. But in this case, it's more of an issue of, by doing this, we do save the 3 life. Come on. Oh, you can still activate it. God damn. I mean, it's fine. I haven't had a game like this in a bit. And that's also paying us for some more damage too, which isn't great. It would be nice if we didn't draw another land. And sometimes you also just flood, even with your preventative tool. It's one of those, you just gotta make him, again, use all of his resources. It's the only real way we have a chance in this game. I don't think, they have, what, 3 turns. We have 3 turns. Actually, I think turns 2 turns, right? 3, and then 6. So we need to do something very notable. Yeah, it's like we have like a 2-turn clock, and that Phoenix almost certainly loses us this game. If we don't draw anything, I'll go ahead and scoop it. I'm not gonna make you all at home endure this game that is beyond, for fuck's sake, game beyond winning. Alright, we didn't get anything. It's over. On to the sideboarding stage, I suppose. Honestly, it might actually even be worth using Vanishing Verses, D-Sparks, Devout Decrees, Rest in Peace. We don't need Lords. Just not gonna be how we win this game. Maybe one Rampage, that's about it. We don't really want to Thought Seize stuff away from their hand, because they want stuff in their graveyard. Mortify's not that useful, as all of their threats are the more recursive kind. And they didn't appear to run any enchantments that I saw, though I could be blind on that front. I'm blind on a lot of fronts, it has to be said. Again, play first. Yeah, it's a good keeper. Go ahead and Temple of Silence. That's pretty good. Does have to be said. I think we have to sadly take the turn off and just play our Rest in Peace while we still have the ability to. We did see they had that enchantment removal thing, so we have to make sure to keep all subsequent Rest in Pieces in our hands, so we can hopefully avoid whatever removal they might happen to have. You're fucking kidding me if he has that in his hand. Does he really have it? Because that's brutal, it has to be said. We have another couple copies, so it's not like the game's lost or anything. Okay, so he has some sort of removal instrument floating around in there. Yeah, we're going to keep these in hand. That is a weird one. I think we'll just Temple of Silence here. I believe that's the right play. Play the Bishop first. Hopefully the Bishop will eat some sort of removal spell. Get the fuck out of here, they had it. I think we will just play the Bishop and continue with our initial plan. Next turn we can Giada and Rest in Peace. Assuming the auto tapper doesn't screw us, but it hasn't screwed us so far in this video. Yeah, almost certainly. The Retribution is the least important to our game plan. If they have a Thought Seize, now is the time to cast it. But they don't. Kinda good. We'll go ahead and Rest in Peace first, since I believe, yeah, Feed the Swarm is sorcery speed. Luckily, Rest in Peace will take really important access to their deck offline. Again, the original plan, playing the Giada. Followed by probably a Righteous Valkyrie. Correction, not follow it. Well, no, we can still follow it, but... Wait, what? Oh, right. Because of the Rest in Peace, it doesn't die, it gets exiled. There's that very, very small bit of non-bow synergy, but it's so minor considering what we get in the abstracts. I think it's worth taking. We'll go ahead and take a turn off in Arena here. I suppose they could activate the Skull Cairn, but if they do, it's their whole turn. And as a result, if they do that, I think we just pitch the Arena. And then they have another one. It's like, what? Opponent controls no basic. Okay, I mean, whatever. Oh, I fucking hate that card. We can discard a card, though. They effectively did a similar thing, and as we said, hi, honey. It's actually a pretty good little over. That's the question. I guess we'll Valkyrie first and then Giada. Though you could make an argument that either of those orders are correct. Get the fuck out of here. If I would have done it in the reverse order, the fucking Valkyrie would have won. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. If I would have done that with Giada first, and then... Oh, that fucking pisses me off. And then the Righteous Valkyrie. The Valkyrie would have came into play with another counter from Giada's ability, and I'd have a fucking Valkyrie. That's... It's fine. I mean, there's no way I would have been able to guess the Storm's Wrath include, to be fair. Do they uptick?
You're about to.
Or do they downtick and kill it? That is the million-dollar question. We have an answer. We can immediately Devout Decree their Chandra, which is useful. They elect to kill it. Fine. Whatever.
Or, you know, don't.
And again, we have to just take this stupid goddamn lantern all day. Is that... Decline. Okay, so if I draw one of our other interactive bits, we can get rid of that. Well, that's really fucking frustrating. I think it's still do this. I do believe that is the right play. Don't need a planes. This way we can answer most any creatures they play. No, they're just gonna keep using that goddamn lantern all game until I like hit something. But we can afford to just keep eating these. Yeah, I'm getting it, game. Guess we'll actually discard the absence. Why the fuck can that untap itself? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, that's... whatever. It's cool. Probably gonna lose this game at this rate, as we said. They're just gonna do the same fucking thing all day. To be fair, I mean, they won fair and square. It's just really fucking annoying. Fuck me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fuck, I hate this. Sacrifice non-land. Yeah, go ahead and take the arena. It's whatever. Does it again. When they do it this turn, I think I take 3 life, play the Retribution, gain life from our Bishop of Wings, see what they do. If they play a creature, this will change what we do, and it will depend on what they play. How many, rest in peace. Okay, I have one more. I think we actually... sacrifice the rest in peace. He's gonna do it again. Which is like the most fucking annoying thing on the planet. Sacrifice the Retribution, since we were more looking for the body than anything else at this stage. Devout Decree away their kindling Phoenix. Let's see what we're gonna draw. That's not what we need. Okay. This is really annoying. Has to be said. Do they have a rule spell for our angel? Because they probably do. For fuck's sake. It just about makes sense. Online permanent discard card. And they're going to do this all at instant speed, so I can't sacrifice the token that I would get, which is, again, to their credit, is smart. Fucking do it again. Jesus fucking Christ. Why the fuck can that untap itself? I literally think we lose, actually, no matter... I'm not gonna lie. I'm totally cool with that card, except for the fucking Forever engine that it has. Yeah. Come on now. To be fair, our opponent beat us fair and square. I think that card is a little fucking stupidly designed, but whatever. I was about to say, don't be rude about this. If you've got it, you got it. There's no reason to be a dick about it. Isn't that right, baby Caramel? Or not Caramel. Smokey, I killed your sister. Okay, alright, they're being rude. You did, I mean, cool, you got your attack and your cast trigger if you go for quest, but beyond that, you're being a little bit rude. Still, a very fun deck, and a deck that I do swear by. This deck did actually get me to Diamond, which is a bit of a feat. So it does have an above 50% win rate, and it's a pretty fun little tribal synergy deck, which are like totally my jam. So thank you all for watching, and like every other video, remember to like it if you liked the video, and remember to sub if you like my weird grab bag of content and would like to see more in the future. If you have any sort of constructive or relatively nice comments, that is also a commenter for down below. Remember to stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.